From paying almost 6 figures for a number to picking a number because of a car crash. Here is how NFL players got their jersey numbers. And let's start with Patrick Mahomes, because after being selected by the Kansas City Chiefs with the 10th pick of the 2017 NFL Draft, Mahomes faced a huge problem about what number to wear. He had 2 options. His first option was to keep his jersey from his college days at Texas Tech, number 5. However, this jersey already belonged to another player on the team, Cairo Santos. So if he wanted Santos's number, a hefty payoff was in order. So, assuming Mahomes didn't want to choose this option, he could also choose a new number. And since Mahomes didn't want to do that, he decided on the number 15. Yet, this decision didn't sit well with Mahomes, as he grew wearing number 5 at Texas Tech. As a result, he reconsidered his options and thought about paying Santos for the rights to the number. But there was only one problem, and it was a big one. By the time Mahomes started to reconsider his options, the NFL had already started to make copies of his uniform to sell, and diehard fans were already pre-ordering them. So, if Mahomes wanted to keep his college number, he needed to pay a lot more now. In addition to paying Santos for the rights to the number, Mahomes needed to repurchase all of his jerseys from the NFL. We're talking millions of dollars. Sheesh. Knowing this, Mahomes was forced to live with his initial decision, and he has adapted well to the new number so far in his career.
Sidearm sling to Tyreek Hill in the first half. Mahomes flips, pass, caught, Kelsey, touchdown.
And speaking of decisions, Corey Davis didn't even have a decision when it came to his jersey number, because growing up as a younger brother, I'm sure Davis had his fair share of hand-me-downs from his brother, Titus Davis. But that didn't prepare him for what he saw when he first arrived at Western Michigan to play football. Because Davis spotted a jersey with his brother's number, 84, at his locker. Surely this must be some sort of joke, right? That's what Davis thought when stumbling upon it. But sadly, that wasn't the case. As if there was already enough pressure to follow in the footsteps of his older brother, who had a successful career and played in the NFL at the time, Corey Davis had the added pressure of doing his brother's number justice. You can't make this stuff up. Luckily, the pressure of honoring his brother's number never got to Corey Davis on the football field. In fact, you can make the case that the number served as a good luck charm for Davis, who racked up over 5,200 yards at Western Michigan. Now that's impressive. Although, the story doesn't stop here, because after being selected 5th overall by the Tennessee Titans in the 2017 NFL Draft, and becoming the highest draft pick in Western Michigan's history, Davis decided to keep the number at the next level. Fast forward to now, and this number has even more meaning than ever, since it also serves as a way to remember and honor his older brother, who passed away on November 11th, 2020, due to a rare kidney cancer. Rest in peace, Titus Davis. But Corey Davis isn't the only player whose jersey number was unexpected, because Lamar Jackson is also in the same boat. Originally, Lamar Jackson wore number 7 to honor his idol, Michael Vick. However, Jackson was forced to choose a new number once he arrived at Louisville, since Reggie Bonifant was already wearing that number. Although he was unsure which number to pick, Lamar eventually decided to wear number 8. But it wasn't just for any reason. Because during Lamar's childhood, his dad was a big role model for him. The two especially bonded over football. They would practice football in the front yard in the morning and study plays in the evening, every day. But that all changed after his father died in a car accident when Lamar was only 8 years old. To make matters worse, his grandmother died on the same day. And while Lamar probably doesn't like to be reminded of that horrific day, he wears number 8 to honor the people he lost when he was 8. So that's probably the reason he goes so hard on the field.
Well, Lamar Jackson turns K'Wan Williams.
And similarly, Russell Wilson's story of how he chose his number is an emotional roller coaster as well. But first, let's discuss how players like Tom Brady were able to keep their jersey number after changing teams. As you might imagine, keeping jersey numbers isn't easy for players who switch teams, because there's often another player on their new team who wears their number with pride. Perhaps no one understands this as much as Todd Gurley. While Gurley kept his signature number, 30, with the Los Angeles Rams, that all changed when he joined the Falcons in 2020. When Gurley joined the Falcons, this number belonged to Quadri Allison, who wore the number in honor of his murdered brother. Hearing this, a sympathetic Gurley realized that changing his number was for the best. Luckily, not all players are as gung-ho about keeping their old numbers when a new player joins. Because in 2020, when Tom Brady joined the Buccaneers, Chris Godwin was more than willing to part with number 12 for Brady. According to Godwin, it only took one conversation between the two before he knew he wanted to switch numbers for the GOAT. After Godwin realized how down-to-earth Brady was, he was honored to pass his number to Tom Brady for free. Thank goodness Godwin was so kind. It's hard to imagine Brady's lifestyle brand keeping the name TB12 if he was forced to switch his number. That's a high-stakes gamble on Brady's part. And I mean, he did get him a ring, so it was worth it if you ask me. But some players weren't so lucky, such as Darrelle Revis. See, back in 2013, he was traded to the Buccaneers in exchange for the 13th overall pick. While the change in scenery was a big obstacle for Revis to overcome, the battle for number 24 proved to be arguably his most difficult obstacle to overcome. During his time as a Jet, Revis built an amazing reputation on the field with this number. But then Buccaneers safety Mark Barron, who wore 24 for the Buccaneers at the time, wasn't willing to part with the jersey number for free. So it took a week of hardcore negotiations between the defensive backs to get a deal done. Barron accepted Revis's counter of $50,000. For a jersey number? Damn, that's a lot of cheddar. Funnily enough, money isn't the only thing that causes players to change their numbers. Almost 2 decades ago, Eli Manning bought an all-expenses-paid vacation to Florida for punter Jeff Fiegels and his family, just to wear number 10 for the New York Giants, since he wore it during his Ole Miss days. Similarly, in 1995, Deion Sanders also hooked up a teammate by buying a BMW for cornerback Alundis Bryce, so he could continue wearing his famous number 21. My man got to ride in style. I wouldn't mind giving my jersey number up at this point. And apparently, players will go all out to secure their jersey numbers. Because Russell Wilson might become one of those players soon, due to the rumors he'll be traded with his strong ties to number 3. While some players like Kenny Vaccaro choose numbers for simple reasons, such as making them look lighter, Wilson's story goes back to his childhood. See, as a child, Wilson starred in 2 sports, baseball and football. However, the older he grew, the more passionate he became about football. And at times, Wilson even considered shifting his focus to solely football. Yet, it was difficult to part ways with baseball, since it was ultimately the sport Wilson was best at. Not only this, but his dad, Harrison, had a dream to see Wilson make it into the MLB. And as Russell Wilson remained dedicated to baseball alongside football, he grew his skill set and shined at NC State. And on June 8, 2010, Harrison's dream came true when the Rockies selected Wilson with the 140th pick in that year's MLB draft. As exciting of an accomplishment as this was, things quickly took a turn for the worse. Moments after being selected by the Rockies, Wilson received another phone call. Only this time, it wasn't a phone call Wilson wanted to receive. Instead, it was the police calling, who informed Wilson that his dad had suffered a stroke and was now in critical condition. A disheartened Russell Wilson rushed to the hospital and prayed for his dad as he faced the battle of his life. But during his prayer, Wilson felt a calling to enter his dad's room to let him know the unbelievable news that happened on that same day. Listening to his heart, Wilson followed this prayer and informed his dad that he'd been drafted by the Colorado Rockies. After receiving the news, Wilson's dad had the piece he needed, and the line went flat. Despite the tragedy, it was at that moment where Wilson realized the Lord was real and watching over him. Because of this tragedy, Wilson received the clarity he needed to focus solely on football now that his dad's dream for him was accomplished. With his baseball career behind him, Wilson strived on the football field while wearing number 3 to honor the Holy Trinity. Wow, if that isn't a deep reason to choose a jersey number, then I don't know what is. But believe it or not, he isn't the only NFL player to lose his dad, and also wear the number 3. As of this season, Sterling Shepard also wears this number, thanks to the NFL loosening up their number requirements. For Shepard, wearing this number is another way to honor his dad. This number in particular has a special meaning regarding his dad Derek, who also played receiver in the NFL. After Shepard's dad suffered a fatal heart attack in 1999, a young Sterling Shepard received a football helmet with the number 3 on it from his father's college football team, the Oklahoma Sooners. This helmet inspired Shepard to follow in his father's footsteps and gave him a purpose in life during a dark time. It shows that even a small gesture can make a world of difference. But you know what else would make a world of difference? You clicking this video on the screen. Do it now!